no porn that you have hiding over there, but you know.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to do that.
Good
That's
evening,
why.
and welcome to hang out in the crib with your Battle Pirates crib crew. I'm with a fine group of men, although the discussion when we went live might make you think otherwise. But anyway.
If it has problems.
I'm not even sure who George was talking to. Daniel doesn't seem too upset. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's cool. Yeah, just carry on. We're just, hanging out. Some people are doing stuff. Some people are talking about Battle Pirates. I'm not going to name names. I'm going to drink beer. So anyway, I'm the BP professor. We've got Hefe. And
howdy, folks.
Daniel.
Hi, everyone.
And we've got George or Dragon's Bane. What do you want to go by?
Father George.
Father George, yeah. Well, hi,
Father
guys.
George.
Yeah.
We're happy to have you on the show, George.
Thank you.
So today we're mostly going to talk about bounties. So I can start the slides. See how it works on my new to me computer here. Screen share. Oh, there we go. All right. So bounty, booty, bounty. All right. So the deal with bounty, it is a PvP event, 4 days long, and you have to opt in. So join the hunt for the bounty hunt. The idea is it's sort of like medals, but it's bounty, and you can steal it from other players. So overview, use the locator to find targets or just find players and hover over them, and you'll see how much bounty you could steal from them. Destroy their outposts to steal unsecured bounty. Reach checkpoint and unsecured becomes secured, which can't be stolen. We'll talk more about that. 3 checkpoints each day. Fight and secure bounty every day to maximize end of season bounty. And at the end of the event, spend secured and any remaining unsecured bounty on prizes in that 4-day event. Okay, I'll keep going. This shows how you join. So again, it's part of your outpost. Or it's in the little pill on the left side. Here. Or here. I guess you got to be level 50 and have outpost level 6 and up. And once you join, your bubble pops. So watch out for all those things.
Yeah. It seemed pretty simple so far.
Okay. Then this shows how you can up your bounty or your level of your outpost or your bounty outpost level. See, in the first preview for bounty, they did this separate building you had to build called a vault, and it was kind of awful because it was like a new water building that you had to find a place to secure. Am I right, George?
I had so much fun with that.
It was really hard because you basically had to redo your base for bounty hunt.
That was, and even when you did, I mean, that was one of the things I completely exploited, was just going in and blitzing just to get that building, and that's it.
Yeah, it was awful.
Bad. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, but now it's part of your outpost, which I think was the overwhelming consensus from people that did the preview, except for maybe George, who is a sneaky little bastard. Yeah, so you can upgrade your outpost and you get better defense on your outpost. You generate more bounty, so you do generate bounty when you just don't do anything, don't get hit. And it basically costs a fair amount of uranium to do these upgrades.
But it doesn't cost time, it doesn't appear, right?
It was immediate when we did it, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't see a timer on what they provided here. So
right. And then here's the thing: it's the expansion is just for the current bounty hunt. So if they do it again, it won't carry over. You'll have to start over from level 1. Spend the uranium again.
Which I think is good. I mean, I think, because otherwise, if it doesn't cost you any time, all it costs is uranium. It doesn't prevent people from wanting to join. That, you know, if they didn't do the first one and they want to pop in the second one and realize everybody else is at so much at an advantage relative to them.
Yeah. All right, so bounty points generated, stored, protected, and stolen during bounty season. Your total bounty balance is displayed in the top left corner of the bounty window and next to your profile picture where medals are usually shown. And it's divided into secured and unsecured. So if you get hit and your outpost gets smashed, the attacker takes 20% of the unsecured bounty. So that's not terrible, actually, because you keep 80%.
Yeah.
Okay, to help you protect your bounty, they've created daily checkpoints. So those are levels of bounty, and once you get a certain amount of unsecured bounty past that checkpoint, then that amount goes to secured bounty, which can't be stolen, and I guess you keep at the end of the event.
Yeah, and then you have a couple days to redeem it and whatnot. But yeah,
right.
Yeah, when they first, we talked about it a little bit this in the pre-show. I think this is the best place to discuss it. When we heard about bounty before, they mostly talked about total bounty points and not the secured versus unsecured bounty points. And it seems to create a, you know, like you mentioned, it seems to create a whole different dynamic to the game as far as the ability to secure. And the assumption is, you know, one of the rules is you can't hit with somebody with less bounty, but the idea is you can't hit somebody with less unsecured bounty.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work.
Yeah, so this is interesting, and let me just say that again. So the idea here is that you get bounty when you hit a player that has more bounty than you. Okay, that's sort of the general statement, right? So if you imagine how this is going to go, right? You're going to have big boys generating a lot of bounty, hitting each other, but leaving the small fry alone because they're not worth any bounty. But now what's going to happen is that if you go cross a checkpoint and you secure all your bounty, then your bounty goes back towards 0, and the small fry are going to be worth bounty points again.
Well, now, see, I'm kind of curious about that because when it says, if you fail to defend your base, the attacker may take 20% of your unsecured amount. If you cross a checkpoint and have a little bit more, like, are we sure that's how they're going to do it, or are they going to base it on your total bounty points so you can't keep hitting down? I would think it might be the second.
But if you hit up and all their bounties secured, you won't get anything anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the risks, I would think. I mean, that's why they didn't say you're going to take 20%, because usually they would put a definitive in there, right? This time it's kind of well, you might take 20% of the unsecured amount.
No, I think they're just being sloppy with their English.
That would not be surprising, but I don't know. I'm curious to know how that's going to go. I mean, and the thing is, when the thing starts, right, everyone's going to have the same amount, so there's going to be a mad rush at the beginning to go and hit like all the little baby bases. I'm kind of curious if anyone's going to sit there and go, okay, an hour before the thing starts, I'm going to go and prep out a ton of the big bases in my world, right? So that way when they go and hit the small fries, they pop their bubbles. You know, they pop their bubbles once they join. You can go and start hitting prep bases.
Oh, jeez. Well, they're gonna. Yeah, I don't know.
You know, because I mean, I know what
devious motherfucker.
Sorry.
No, it's great. I'm glad you're a devious motherfucker, but you know, all right. Okay, so there's also prizes as you cross little tick points. Sorry. As you cross your tick points on your milestone markers, they say maybe tokens and stuff. So maybe even if you play this and are moderately successful, you'll get some build tokens and make up for the fact that your shipyard's going to be flat a whole lot during this event.
For 4 days straight.
Because we haven't gotten to the bubble time yet, so just keep that in mind if you haven't seen it yet. Just you wait and see. All right, everybody's getting the same amount of bounty when you opt in. Bounties generated at intervals after activation. Leveling up your outpost increases the amount you get at each interval. Let's see, we already talked about some of these. Destroy outposts, get 20%. They have to have more unsecured bounty than you to earn bounty. So I think that's pretty clear, right? We were just talking about that before. Has more unsecured bounty than you.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so you get a little symbol next to their base. In the preview, it was pretty small, so look carefully. It's like a little teeny diamond. And then you can also use the locator, but that's probably only going to find a couple bases that are close to you.
You know, that's one pet peeve that I wish they would fix and stop making the locator go for the entire world instead of like your sector and the 2 neighboring sectors. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It would be nice. The whole world. I mean, it's not that hard. Just open up the 2 ends that you have and do the whole thing.
I don't know, man. But then you'd have to have something like a computer or something to count all that up.
Well, they just randomize it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Because like I want to go and hit. I want to hit megas. I've destroyed every single mega in the 3 sectors around me. I mean, I can't. I have to go and start like searching now. And then when you try and start searching, everything crashes because you know it bleeds memory up to like 2 gigs and stuff.
Yeah. All right, so let's see what else. You can click on someone's base and it'll tell you how much bounty you could get from hitting them. Can't attack your own alliance for bounty. Of course, you can't attack your own alliance anyway, right?
Yep. Unless they drop tag or you drop tag or, you know.
Well, yeah, but then they're not exactly in your alliance. All right. So you can attack someone with less unsecured bounty, but you won't get any bounty for it. And so that's the thing, right? If you think all this sucks and I don't want to, you know, have 3-hour bubbles and I don't want to, you know, screw around with this, then just don't opt in and shut up.
Yeah, I think that's true because I think also people are going to think, you know, I was in a location where I was sort of roundabout way to say it, but I was in an area where the totality of the eclipse occurred, and I was taking bets for like 2 minutes if the sun was ever going to come back. And also, I would be willing to take bets is something's going to be really messed up with this whole new mechanism coming out. So maybe if you didn't want to participate the first time, hopefully they have things worked out by the second time, because I think the chances are about even of the sun, the sun coming back. And what?
I can almost guarantee that we're going to find exploits in this. It's the first time out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we don't know how long the opt-in period is to get players to see. Do we know?
Sure it's till the end. I'm pretty sure it's till the end. You can opt in the very last second if you want. Okay,
because they do talk about an opt-in period. So I don't know, if it's the whole time or not. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, earning points. This is mostly a repeat, right? Destroy the outpost, get 20%. Attack a player and the outpost is still destroyed, you will not earn any bounty. But if their outpost is a sliver repaired, you can destroy it and earn some bounty.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can just bunker bust it?
I guess if it's a sliver.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Still win and lose medals, but not displayed as prominently. Bounty medal information in the battle log. Let's see, if you do more than 25% damage to the player's base, so if you bubble them but do not destroy the outpost, you will lose a small amount of bounty. If your fleet takes 10% damage or more and fails to destroy the outpost, you will lose bounty. So that's interesting, right? Because if you go in and get wasted before you even hit anything, which is sometimes a problem with my base, you'll lose bounty. So I think that's pretty cool.
And suicide preps and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
That's yeah, it's interesting, and I sort of wish they carried some of this over to the, well, not all of it, but some parts of this over to the medal system.
I just wonder how much bounty you lose. That's
well, you know, if you go back on that previous slide, it was pretty small, right? Like just in that example, 650 to 15.
Yeah, it's pretty significant disparity.
Yeah, so you can send in 3 suicide preps and you wouldn't care because you'd be getting the 650.
Yep. There's George with more devious ideas. All right. If someone's not opted in, you don't gain or lose bounty from either way. And then here's damage protection. So instead of 12, 24, 36-hour bubbles, there are 1 hour, 2 hour, and 3 hour bubbles. And a lot of people see these numbers and ask, are the ship times being reduced or the base repair times being reduced? And the answer, as far as we know, is no, they are not. They're going to be the same.
So it's the old burn and turn that people used to do. Well, some people do, where they keep on attacking bases while their base is basically sitting there smoldering. Is that who this is playing to?
Well, I mean, so there are a couple of things that you can take advantage of, though, right? Like if you put your base guard as all conquerors, right? Because we get a reduction in conqueror repair time, right? And if it's in the half slot, would you not be able to get all of that extra repair time for the conquerors?
So, in the defender slot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're going to use
maybe.
conquerors as your patrol, which it seems like with some of these ships, they're trying to discourage that, especially like the Harlock's Alpha Behemoth, which adds bonuses to defenders only.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it's a good question.
I mean, there's going to have to be options. I mean, you also can put in other guards in other slots as well. And you know, you can always have somebody in the sector hit you and bubble your ass again for 3 hours until you repair your guard's repaired.
Yeah, it feels like it needs a little more structure. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, that one's one of the things that I'm kind of worried about because great, the bubble's 3 hours, but so what? I mean, you can, if you're on and you have people in your alliance or sister alliances, or they drop tag, they can come and bubble you. And the other thing that you can do is if someone's not in bounty, right? It's a 3 hour bubble, so someone not in bounty goes and preps a base for you, then they're going to lose what? Medals, big whoop. And then you can walk in and just hit the thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Or they don't even have to lose medals.
Yeah, I mean,
they could still do 50%, and then you come back in 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
And especially if, you know, the thing I don't like about it is because things don't automatically start repairing. That's the part they needed to add to this in order to make this even come close to working.
No, because then every 3 hours. No, because every 3 hours, then someone's going to come in and take bounty from you.
Yeah, you almost don't want your stuff to repair.
Oh yeah. That's true. Well, at least I hope it'd be nice if maybe your outpost doesn't, but maybe your guard fleet starts repairing.
Yeah.
Your shipyard, your shipyard would be ideal, but I mean the other thing is too is if you're on and you're planning on playing for like 2 or 3 hours, you just go and hide a fleet out somewhere, right? Do your thing until you get hit, and then once you hit, you go to the map while you're in the middle of the attack, and then you start hitting bases for 2 or 3 hours, and you don't repair until tomorrow. Your fleet's going to be repaired. The dock will be repaired the next morning when you first log in, and no one can take bounty from you overnight.
Yeah. So it's encouraging people to coin on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can coin on the map, you can take advantage of that and exploit the hell out of it.
Okay.
Larry's gonna call me devious again.
Well, yeah, sure.
I find that part to be this, those the damage protection times to be the second most broken thing, as far as the way we currently understand it from the preview.
Well,
the first most broken. The first most broken thing is the secured versus unsecured relative to other players. That's the most broken thing to see.
But the thing about the short bubble is they want to encourage a lot of hitting, right? They want to make it short and intense. So I get it. It's just people have other things to do in their life.
I mean, it looks almost like they're trying to set it up like a Wreck-a-Palooza almost,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
And those are fun.
They are, yeah. They were. I don't know. Do they still do them?
I haven't seen one in ages.
Yeah.
There's one coming up. I got invited to it. I forget. It's somewhere in the 100s, but it's not showing up for a couple of weeks.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Later, I can look and figure out and give you the.
Do it during a bounty event.
Nice. That would be perfect.
All right. Anyway, so the PvP store, you get bounty, store opens, spend your points, get stuff. So they say there's a new Defender Hull coming that's going to be a bounty prize.
Yeah, the Courage.
The Courage. I don't think we've seen any stats or any preview of it.
Well, we've seen a picture of it. There was an email that went out.
Okay.
But that's all we've seen. That's all we know.
Okay. So yeah, I mean this. I guess here's another broken thing, right? This is going to be the rich get richer, right? If the Courage is any good, the only people that get it are the people who kicked ass in bounty.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the thing is, we don't know when it's going to come out. I mean, it's probably not going to come out in the next raid because that would be only 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So then you can't have it in the next 3 raids because, you have the trees. So it would be, I mean, if you have something that's not going to be available.
No, think about it. They do have the trees, but remember, they're not going to release any of there's no more Conquerors that they're going to release this year. So it could be the following one. Because you're going to have,
Yeah, maybe. That's possible. That would be okay. If it was only like a month and a half, then that's okay-ish. But like if it's more than that, then that's not what they, said about the bounty prizes.
All right.
I mean, am I reading this right? The Pride is a fourth the price of the skin?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're trying to get that Pride away cheap, right?
Okay.
I mean, 1425. That's if the points scale like we've seen, that's probably just a couple successful hits.
Mm-hmm.
So that might not be too hard to get if you can smash a couple bases.
Okay. So I can build my rages and take them to Daniel's sector?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
Yeah.
I was making sure you're still online. Okay.
All right. So Conqueror fleets have a second repair queue that can only be used for Conqueror fleets. And so what you see is these all Conqueror fleets turn yellow. And so you could repair a Conqueror at the same time as a non-conqueror. And you can see here there's 2 repair queues, 2 repair timers down at the bottom here.
But they are actually queues? Is that the right use of the word?
No.
Okay.
It's
Just
repair.
making
Slot.
Yeah. Because queue implies they're standing in line waiting. Right?
Well, the 5 ships in a fleet are in queue.
Yeah, okay. All right. I was trying to find somebody that could figure out the way that was the right use of the word. And I guess that does, yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Not the way that they phrased it down at the bottom there, but
Yeah. Okay, so that's only going to be active during when you are opted into a bounty event. So it's not going to be all the time for now.
Wait, does it say that part though? I think you added an extra detail.
The repair queue is only active during the season to players who are opted in.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, you're right. I was wrong on that one.
Oh, my arrow was in the wrong spot. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's how you can repair. And this is what George was talking about with, maybe you could put all conquerors in defense and then have that repair in your second queue as well. Or if you're just not doing PvE during the weekend, you repair your defender in one queue and your conquerors in another. So get that Forsaken mission done.
yeah, before the bounty.
Yep. Other features. Let's see what she has to say about other features. Bounty targets in the locator. And so those supposed to only show people with more bounty than you, so only people that are worth bounty. And leaderboards, because okay. But you know what? Leaderboards will be another way you can find targets.
This is true.
Yeah.
And that'll be worldwide. So there.
Very nice.
Okay, so that's it for bounty.
Well, actually, let's stay on bounty for a little bit.
Yeah. Let's stay on bounty. I mean,
as far as
who's
after
gonna
we
opt in? Let's start here. Who's going to opt in? George?
If I have access to the internet, I am going to, yes. I'm planning on being out of state, but I have all sorts of devious ideas that I want to try out. So, I'd like to pop in and try.
Tennessee is the only state that has the internet. So, yeah, just so we're clear on that.
Okay. Daniel, you going to opt in?
No, I'm not thinking I will. I can't defend myself from rages, so I don't know.
All right. How about you, Hefe?
I need to see more details before I'm going to make any sort of decision. At this point, with it showing up day after tomorrow, yeah, I don't know, because I am curious to see how my second throwership is going to work. But yeah, I would probably wait until I see all the details on how this is going to work, the opt-in period time, all the prizes, what the points are going to be, and see if they still stick with this secured versus unsecured, because I'm not, I don't think that we've been given enough details at this point for at least you to make a decision, and I'm a little leery of some big gaping hole in the whole mechanic just drowning the whole thing and making it a bad idea. But we'll see. I'm leaving my mind somewhat open until we get more details.
All right. I'm kind of leaning towards no myself, too. I think. I don't know. I just don't. I'm certainly not going to spend coin on this, even if I opt in. So if I opt in, I'm going to just sort of have the expectation my shipyard's going to be dead for 4 days. I'd rather finish my rage fleet.
Well, I mean, if you opt in and you don't like it, after the leveling off, you're not going to be able to get hit by anybody for bounty. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So that might not be a bad idea there.
If I don't get bounty, then I won't be hit for it. That's
Yeah.
true.
You know, and then the other option is, I mean, if you're in Alliance, you just, you know, tell everybody, get your gunboats and everything ready, and make sure there's a guard on every single base throughout the entire event. That's all. Spam guards.
But didn't
Jeez.
didn't they say that was we were going to generate bounty?
Yeah, we generate it in house.
Oh, that's true. So if your base is fixed, you're going to be generating bounty, so you're going to keep getting hit.
Mhm.
If you keep
Well, it
fixing
depends
your
on how
base.
much you generate. I mean, if you're only generating like 50 a day, you're not going to bump up to where the other, you know, the players that can hit your base are going to be looking for you.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. All right. What else you want to talk about, Bounty Hefe?
Well, I guess it sort of answered a lot of like what things would you, we don't have a lot of time to prepare. We have a day or so, and we don't know how long the opt-in period is. So maybe you have a little bit longer. I was thinking more builds in your shipyard that might be associated with it. Like, would you guys try and figure out a way to tune a second guard for your base, or something like that? So therefore, you're able to, better, be better prepared. I'm just thinking if you are going to participate, what would you be doing now to prepare?
I'd be trying to finish my rage fleet. I mean, in this, I think maybe the best defense is just going to be a good offense. Hit bases until you get past a checkpoint.
And I think that's kind of like, looking at it overall, I think that's kind of how it's set up. I mean, I think they want you to go out and hit the hell out of bases and get to those checkpoints. I mean, that's what, like, a lot of people are like, oh, the rage. And then it's like, okay, well, if you got the rage, then who cares if you get leveled, because you're going to be out there hitting the hell out of other bases too. I mean, if you hit one base, you get X amount of unsecured bounty. But if someone comes and hits you right after, you're only losing 20% of it. You're not losing 100% of what you just got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, between the combination of the short damage protection and whatnot, it seems to really encourage, if you hit a base and you're able to walk it, it really seems to encourage farming. There's nothing in there,
Well, if they're farms for that fleet, then they're not going to have the bounty. Because the thing is, as you get bounty, you're progressing up the ladder. You know what I mean?
But not really, because of the secured versus the unsecured. That's the part that worries me, unless we're not understanding it correctly.
I just think that there's some sort of safety mechanism in there that like you're not going to be able to hit down if you have X amount of bounty, regardless if it's secured or unsecured.
Yeah, but Reese, when opted in, bounty targets will be the new option locator that will show eligible targets, i.e. someone with more unsecured bounty than you.
Right. But the thing is, they might be using the checkpoints as the safety mechanism. You know what I mean? Like, if you've hit checkpoint 3 and, the other people haven't hit checkpoint 1 yet, they're not going to show up. I mean, that's just a guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Because we don't know. We don't know enough about the checkpoints. The checkpoints is one of the big things that's.
Yeah, I can't see them. I can't see them overlooking something that egregious. I mean, because then you just hit a checkpoint and you go out and you whack a bunch of little 50 bases again. That wouldn't encourage anybody, unless they were over 100 level, to even enter this thing. And they wanted it to be something that everybody could participate in.
But these are the same people that invented the metal missile.
That's true.
Yeah. So, anybody have anything else as far as things that you might be wanting to do now if you did want to participate, besides finishing up your Conquerors, potentially building a second guard fleet, or retuning it, refitting it in some way that it would be, especially taking advantage of tokens and whatnot.
Well, I mean, we'll get to it. We got a couple of slides on TLCs, but yeah, if you can put the radon slingers on your Harlox Alpha, I mean, that's going to be pretty cool. Get those tokens easy. Yeah, I don't know what else I would do specifically. I don't know. I haven't heard of a magic bullet to stop those rages.
Oh, and also, I'm pretty sure you can't buy a bubble during this. I'm curious how that works.
Yes, I did say that.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too.
Oh yeah, I'll just buy a bubble. I'll buy a 1 month bubble and go through 2 seasons.
Yeah, just buy a week
man.
bubble and just
No bubble buying.
and just
Yeah.
generate the bounty naturally, whatever.
Yeah, grow it
Okay.
in house.
Yeah, just
Okay.
upgrade your outpost.
hmm
hmm
Okay. Well, I guess if we
All
don't have
right.
anything else, we can go on to TLCs.
Are they? Well, actually, I'm curious. Did they? I don't remember on the post. Did they actually say that the last hour you're not keeping your bubble? Like all the bubbles drop for the last hour.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah, I pretty much took everything verbatim, unless it was repetitive.
They talked about that in the first preview and then not in the second, as I recall.
Yeah,
Huh.
I think that's.
But I don't know what actually happened.
Curious. Okay.
Well, if it's 4 days and it starts on Friday, that could mean that frantic hour is going to be in the middle of the workday for a lot of people. That's not cool.
Yep.
All right. So Inquisition campaign going on. If you want to get some rivals, build tokens. Inquisitors with muddles are ripping up a lot of bases. I mean, they're not invulnerable, but they're doing pretty well. And this is an assault campaign, so Phoenix are working great. I mean, it is kind of raid-style targets, but even up to Mastery, there's only 5 targets. So it's pretty doable if you got Phoenixes at the very least. Anything else to say about this?
No, just those things with muddle missiles are insane. They're better
Yeah.
than the Mudbloods.
Yep. And then the other TLC going on is Alpha Defense. That one just kind of showed up last night. I didn't even know it was coming. The big deal here is you can get some Harlock's Alpha tokens to refit your Alpha Behemoth. Radon Slingers, if you got them, work great on Alpha Behemoth.
Yes. And also Polonium Accelerator helps extend the range and whatnot. So yeah, you can start outranging a lot of ships.
Yep. And this is the base hit. And like this was targeted at tier 5 conquerors. So, any kind of modern base hitting fleet, Prides, Mudgluts, Rage, Inquisitors, probably whatever, Voltron rivals, whatever, really do well. So I used Mudgluts and blasted through this.
Okay. Yeah, so if Mudgluts work, I haven't done this one because I have all this and I still have 6. I've refitted my Harlock Alpha Behemoth with the Radon Slingers, and I still have 6 days of build tokens, so this hasn't been a priority for me.
Yeah, I saw Holsch say he did it with 1 Mudglut. I didn't quite go that sporty, but I did it with all 4. And there's no sonar turrets or anything. It's just the like number 7. So the first one, a prize pack 3, has a couple ships with thermal, but it's the thermal you can outrange with your Mudgluts.
Okay.
So that was the only thing that even made me slow down.
Very nice. So it's a very achievable for everybody, and 6 days doesn't get you all the way to a build. It's going to take you quite a bit longer, so it's not for somebody that doesn't have the Harlock Alpha Behemoth. This isn't going to get you there before Friday, but if you already have one and don't have any tokens, it would be a good opportunity to refit them. Take off your UAVs or whatever, and toss on some slingers.
Yep.
And also change your specials.
Yeah.
I wish they'd let us build a
And
second one.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
And that is the end of the slides.
Alrighty, I'll take Larry off of present.
Thank you.
So he doesn't want everybody to figure out what's going on in his bar behind him.
What is going on in the bar behind me?
Paper towels and whatnot.
Yeah, just the usual.
Well, you have your sous vide. Not everybody has that downstairs.
No. Where's my suit? I don't know if you can see it. All right. Anyway.
Okay. Well, I'm going to, in case anybody'd like to, I know Larry's going to have to leave before 8 o'clock. I'm going to open up the show to anybody that'd like to join us in the live now or also in the after show. So I'll just post the link on the right-hand side in case anybody's interested. So where are you going, Larry? Hot date?
Yeah, no.
Classic answer. I like that.
Nah.
So what other things can we think of doing during the bounty?
Snipe Conqueror fleets.
That's true. Yeah. Have some subs out on the water.
Yeah. I mean, I just wish it was a little bit. I find it weird. Like one statement was, "You're still allowed to relocate, but you may find less targets when you relocate." There's no pools or anything like there was as far as what I've read. You can just hit anybody. There's no like this group and this group. As you know, you have. I don't understand. I mean, I guess what the idea would be, you would move to some remote sector and hope nobody found you, or I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot learned both by the player base and by Kixeye in the first couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of curious if they find people, exploiting something or a mechanic in this. Like, are they going to try and fix it on the fly, or are they just going to go, okay, we'll fix it in the next one? I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah, that would be interesting because a lot of people aren't going to like the fact that they do it halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really digging the idea of going and hitting a bunch of big bases before the thing starts, because either they're going to wait until their bubble, until they're repaired before they jump in, or they're going to jump in and they're going to pop that bubble. And either way, you win because everyone's at the even keel, so you can start whacking the hell out of the small bases, and then when they do pop, you can start whacking them too.
Oh, so you're talking about prepping right beforehand, basically,
like the hour before
prepping.
Yeah, the hour before.
Yes.
Take your line, like all the bit. Like I'm telling you, like PNLS, Gimps. Like if they don't do that, I'll be shocked. I will be absolutely shocked.
Yeah, and it is. Yeah. Okay, so you have to opt in order to start generating points. So okay, so you can't. Okay, yeah.
Well, you start with a lump sum of unsecured bounty as well.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, as soon as you opt in.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So once you opt in, you have that bunch. So a level 50 and a level 100 are going to have the same amount at the very beginning, right? And then as people start hitting, it's going to start leveling into pools. I guess I don't know. It's going to start leveling off to different abilities.
Yeah, you can
not really. Yeah, well, except for the whole unsecured versus secured thing. Just I don't even know what to call it at that point.
Yeah, that one I'm not sure. I am hoping. I'm going to be really shocked if I'm wrong, but I cannot see them like overlooking something that egregious and going, oh well, yeah, if you secure at an exact amount, and you have like 1 point of unsecured bounty, you're going to be able to go and whack a level 50 again to grab another 300.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing I saw that, especially during the first preview, and I heard it was less during the second, but I didn't stay in that one too long, is the bounty numbers really started climbing towards the end of the event. So if those checkpoints are kind of the same day after day, I mean, maybe on day one you'll see a lot of that going on, where big boys secure their bounty and then go whack somebody weak for, bounty again. But maybe by day 3, day 4, it'll start to kind of even out, that if you are in that pool of big boys, you're going to be way past that third checkpoint. We'll see how the numbers work out.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I'm not sure. I don't know. I guess I'm still working at the trust deficit as far as expecting it to roll out.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely a fair chance that with any new feature, there's going to be a serious bug. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, they might have actually found one. That's why it's taken 2 extra days to do the release notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you expect the update right before? That's what I'm sort of thinking at this point, that it won't actually be till Friday.
I think we're either going to see it tomorrow or Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit, put out tonight, but I'm expecting either tomorrow or Friday, and see what happens.
Yeah, Rampage like 3 hours ago said that he was gathering information as far as a lot of the questions that people have, but as far as the actual update and seeing things in the game.
Yep. Yeah, I sent him actually a decent list, and he has the post. He has a link to the post that I have on the TFC page.
Okay.
For general questions.
General questions for Major Rampage.
Well,
general questions
for Bounty. Yeah, general questions. I forgot. This is the show that I can do the How I Met Your Mother thing. Awesome. Awesomeness.
Get my salutes out now.
Yeah. Do we have anything else that anybody can think of that should still that we should discuss live in the game? Because there was no update, so I mean, we only went 50 minutes, but and I know Corey gets really upset unless we go 3 hours, but I don't think we have the content for it tonight, unless
unless Corey comes on and gives us some content. I mean,
Well,
yeah, be your own solution, man.
There you go. So I guess if I'm sort of racking my brain if there's anything that we should discuss besides.
Yeah, I mean, has anybody said
we touched a little bit on some of the. Is anybody, like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to work on a Vanquisher build for the throwers. Does anybody have any experience or ideas on that? I'm not sure it's going to work. I'm just thinking it doesn't have all the deflections, but it has the 500,000 armor, and it has the additional radioactive range.
So during the preview, one of the things that was going around to try and stop rages was retributions with the throwers.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't seem to work, though.
Okay.
So,
well, the retributions have a fourth of the armor.
Yeah, they had nice deflections, but it still didn't seem to stop the rages.
Okay.
They still sunk.
Okay.
I mean, how many ships with throwers are you going to need for that fleet to destroy that fleet?
I don't know. I was thinking at least having, at this point, at least having 2, one towards the beginning of the base and one towards the end to overcome the shrouding or whatnot. Well, the untargetable. So hopefully things would have timed out in the meantime, depending how they're driven. So that's why I'm using the Vanquisher, because I still think having the Defender hopefully is the right decision. But we've heard people talk about some of the Conqueror builds, use a rage to kill a rage, or the retribution. But I don't know.
I
I'm
mean,
just sort of
I'll
throwing that out there.
I'll be honest. I was trying to find something with UAVs because I'm pretty sure that even when they shroud, if the UAVs have already launched, it would continue to chain even on the shrouded ones. But the problem is like there's nothing you can do that will overcome that bloody deflection.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for the thrower. The thrower seems to do it, but I don't know why. Because it seems like I don't know. I mean, it seems like something needs some testing, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the catch with the thrower is you have to make sure you have a lot of splash, because if the rages are charging, you know, you only have a splash of what, like 8 or something, right? And if they're already running and they have that splash reduction on top of it, you know, you got to bump that splash way up if you can do that.
Yeah, splash and projectile speed. I've put the Delta V focus whatever on mine. I know other people have used because that includes both projectile speed and splash. And some people have gone with 100% of the high velocity rounds and then added splash in elsewhere. I mean, there's different ways, but yeah, I just wanted to see if anybody had any ideas before I ended the show.
I'm trying to think. I think I have a Justice that's building that I have polonium, radon, and the Delta V and combustion system, I think, maybe.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah, I think I have combustion system. Yeah, I mean, the only reason I haven't done it with the Justice because I have a Justice that's basically trying to figure out what to do with it.
And the thing is, like after I had done it, I think I wanted to change the Delta V for something else, and I can't remember if it was high velocity rounds or something else.
Yeah, because the Justice doesn't have all that range, and it doesn't have that range boost.
It doesn't, but I mean, but the rage is blitz anyway. But the other catches, you know, like there's so many damn specials now. Like I'm forgetting what the hell you can put on some of this shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of them look so similar. Oh, you need to go, Larry?
Yeah, gentlemen, I got to run. It's been
fun.
Okay.
Have a good night. It's been a pleasure.
Night. See you.
Be a good boy. Alrighty. Well, I guess I'll end the show at this point. And I posted the link on the right-hand side. And you're welcome to join us in the after show. So unless you got anything else, George or Daniel or Mike?
Nope.
Nope.